conferences, piles of flyers, getting stuck on endless email lists, never-ending calls. There's an easier way to sort through and find the best school fundraisers. School Zone Podcast proudly presents the 10 top school fundraising ideas for 2017. A guide of top fundraising companies handpicked from the best podcasts. As an added bonus, it lists 5 awesome resource companies that would add tremendous value to your school and students. A guide to 10 top fundraising companies and 5 resource companies. And we're giving the guide away for free. That's right, for free. Ready to simplify the search? Download the free guide at schoolzonepodcast.com. Welcome to School Zone School Fundraising Ideas Podcast. We interview top fundraising and resource companies to help you find a solution to your next school fundraising or school resource need. Are you ready to simplify the search? Now, here's your host, Matt Miller.
Hey, School Zone Podcast listeners, Matt coming at you. Wrapping things up here in the next couple hours at the Texas PTA Summer Leadership Seminar here in San Antonio at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. I'm here with Mr. Steve Wilzbach of Lucky Cats Incorporated, and we've already been talking for like 20 minutes. Come to find out, we've got a lot of shared interests, so I'm excited to introduce you guys to Steve and get a chance to chat. So, Steve, say hey to everybody and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. This is a great idea, by the way.
Thank you.
Because you're right, it's surface. They go by fast. Those moms are speedy, you know.
Yeah, they are. And they've got an agenda, and if they don't know who you are, you're not on the agenda.
No, you got to do your whole life in a minute. Yeah, right. I know it's hard. Well, we have a children's edutainment website for children's K through 5. Children K through 5, children's. Yeah. And we have it's the idea here is we have 100 different games and activities online, and the idea is to teach good character while kids are playing. So the site is completely safe, no chatting, no advertising, and which is really important to moms to make sure that when they are online, everything is safe. We have a virtual site. We have a lot of puzzles and games and things that kids play, and the idea is to teach good character while kids are playing. So there's a cruise ship adventure that goes around the world, unlocks continents, and then they have coins and points and trophies. And when they unlock things, they can go to our virtual site called Catco. It's like a mall, and they can buy things. They can unlock. I'm going to make an island that looks like South America because I unlocked that continent. So, and the continent, the cruise ship adventure has kind of a environmental theme to it. They're going to save the rainforest and save the coral reefs of Australia, that kind of thing. So that's one aspect of it. On the island itself, there's things like Catalina U. It has some educational things. We have 16 animated characters that we have on there. And when you roll over these characters, they all say something positive. And the lines that we use are all based on character education curriculum from around the country. My partner, whose name is Tammy Schrader, we're both heavily involved in character education. We go to Washington, D.C. every year for the character.org International Convention. And so we're on the consortium for that as well. So we're very involved in character education, making sure that what kids are playing is something safe. They're learning something good without hitting them over the head with it. So it's subtle. So some of the games, like I said, are fun, just to keep kids engaged. And some are educational, and some have good character. And we have this thing, this button that says called GC, stands for good character, and that's kind of peppered through the site. And when they click on that button on some of the games, a little menu comes up and says, okay, on this game you're going to learn loyalty and compassion. So it's whatever's germane to that game, it'll tell them, and they'll use it in a sentence. So the good character is kind of all through the site.
So what's your background, Steve? How did you get started in all this?
Well, I was raised in the animation business. My dad was a Disney animator, and then went to Hanna-Barbera. So that was my background. So I was, it was fun, And I decided, I tried animating. I sat down to his animated disc one day, and he said, here, draw this. It was Touche Turtle, if you remember Touche Turtle. And so I did. I thought, I could do this. I'll lose my mind because I don't have the patience to sit there and draw all day. But I figured, okay, I can't do this for a living. So I decided to go into the photographic side of it. So I was an animation camera operator for a long time. Then I was a motion control operator, and I was one of the last multiplane operators at Disney Studios, one of the real big multiplane cameras. So I did that for a while. And then I got into management, became a production manager, and then became associate producer. I was at Warner Brothers Feature Animation for 11 years. So I worked on things like Iron Giant and that kind of thing. So after the AP thing, I went into TV. I just decided to go do TV 1 year. It was a small little show called Tuttenstein from Discovery Kids, and that actually has some good character associated to it. Little did I know it was going to be like a lifestyle for me, but and I was fortunate enough to have a really great team. All my buddies were out of work, so I got all these feature guys, right, to work, and we won an Emmy that year. So that was really fun. So then after that, I decided to quit for a while and find something else. So this guy, a friend of mine, his name was Joe Keenan, came to me and goes, "Hey, I have this thing called Lucky Cat." It was started off the Lucky Cat as the Asian Lucky Cat, with the beckoning cat with the little hand. It means good fortune. Maniki Nico is the name of that cat. So he came to me with that idea, and he went to do like a kung fu thing. I think, and the characters were very strange looking. So they're really freaky looking. So I thought, well, this isn't going to work. So I got my buddies at Warner Brothers to redesign them. The guys who do Tom and Jerry were my friends. And I decided to go back to characters that were quality. So I think you used the word evergreen, and that's what these are. These characters are evergreen. So I went back to rats and cats. So I got cats. We have 16 characters. I forgot. I think there are 8 cats. And anyway, and I own a couple dogs because our investor. We have an investor behind us that's sent from God. This guy, because he's like the best investor. Hands off. So my partner and I have total artistic autonomy. So we've created everything involved in that. So it just kind of grew from there, and we took the characters, and these were Warner Brothers guys, so the characters were edgy because Warner Brothers stuff is edgy, and they weren't reading very well, so we got this Disney guy to come in, and he fuzzy bunnied them up a little bit, so a little bit softer, and so it's what we have now.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the animation side, I'm in charge of all the production side, and my partner Tammy's in charge of all the marketing business side, and we overlap, but we're a really tight team.
So when did you guys decide to turn this into a website for kids?
Well,
how did all that kind of come about?
Well, it was started off with this guy, Joe. He wanted to make it a TV show, and that wasn't going to work. So we thought, well, webisodes were getting big. So we thought, well, maybe we'll try that. So we got the characters developed. We were thinking of doing webisodes, maybe a TV, like a newscast thing. But it's kind of progressed. And then we realized we needed to do something with games instead. So because gaming sites became more popular, and we needed to market this thing. So Tammy came on board. And Tammy comes from a radio background. She was like one of the youngest VPs in Metro and Westwood One. So she came from there. So it worked beautifully. So then we just started marketing this thing, and we started building this island with adding more games, and it just kind of progressed. And we were involved with Dare America for a while. And we decided to do some anti-bullying because that became a very big deal. So we made a bullying DVD. And then from there, we realized that we thought, oh, there's this character education conference in Washington. I wonder what that's about, but bullying kind of started the whole character education. It's been around for 20 years, but bullying really brought it to the forefront. So we got involved with Washington D.C. We found out with character education. We already had it going. So I thought, well, let's do that because we found a niche. There wasn't anyone doing character education for elementary school kids using animation. It would go from preschool, then would jump to middle school, and all the games were violent. I mean, the violence is huge. And we did a lot of research on this, realized that 90% of the kids are using video games, and most of them are violent. So we thought, okay, let's do something safe and fun, doing character education, which stemmed from a anti-bullying campaign. So that was kind of, in a nutshell, it kind of came that way.
So how long have you been working then promoting what you guys do to the schools, and is this just another resource to them, or how does that kind of tie in to the educational environment since you're here obviously at a PTA event?
Yeah, well, we were looking for revenue streams, obviously ways to do this. It took a couple of years to make the site where we wanted to. Then we decided, okay, we got to find a variety of ways of doing this. So fundraising became kind of an obvious choice because it has an educational bent to it. So there's the fundraising side. We have gift cards as well. We have a corporate side, because corporations are also getting involved in character education. They give stuff to their employees. So that was a way. After school programs is huge, especially Title I schools, you get federal funding. So there's a variety of ways. Plus it's a membership based. It started off as a membership base, and then we moved it from there. That's kind of a tough road so you have to market that a lot. And the PTO, and we do PTO and PTAs, we do a lot of teachers conferences, anything we can to get the name out there, get the brand out there. So there's a lot of avenues here to do that. So we've been doing the PTAs for about 3 years now, in conjunction with character education.
So, as far as the membership side of things, what is little Johnny or his parents? What does that cost? That type of thing.
Well, we have as a fundraising thing, for a membership it's $5.99 a month. It's very reasonable. For a year, it's $47.99. It's cheaper than a video.
Yeah.
And so for the fundraising, basically what they do is they go online, fill out a form, and we send the school a link. So it's luckycatworld.com/ the name of the school. And it actually comes up on the website. So now we emailed this link to them. Now they can do anything they want with that. So they send it out to the parents. And so it's because of social media, you can use this link everywhere.
Right.
And it's fundraising 24/7. Therefore, you're not going to have a garage full of chocolate and wrapping paper, because it's all digital, and we keep track of the money as well. So it's a really great. Even if they have other things that want something tangible, it's in the background working all the time because it's social media. There's really no end to what they can do. So we find at first we had a little resistance to that because it started 3 years ago. We have found in the last 3 years, moms have become much more digital savvy. It's amazing how fast it's grown. Now it's almost a preference because it's hard. PTA and it's hard what they do. Gathering all the money and stuff. So we wanted to do something that was easy as possible online, given an online option. So that's where we're at with that now. So as they sign up, they get a percentage. So like 1 month is 20%. As they go to a year, if they get a 1 year program, they get 50% of that. So it's a really great deal. And again, like I said, because it's 24/7, it's fundraising. There's no season for this, so they can always have it going. And the response has been great that way.
So when did you guys start this?
Well, we went in to fix the website, did all that for a couple of years, and we started doing this about 3 years ago, going up to PTOs, PTAs, teacher conferences, counselors, principals. We do the whole gamut.
So how big have you grown as far as a user base?
It's leaps and bounds. I mean, we started with 0, and it fluctuates. It can go, 25 to 50,000, goes back and forth, based on what's going on.
Yeah.
Based on seasons and stuff. But it's a grind. I mean, getting a website and a brand off the ground. First of all, finding a niche is hard, and we found that we don't really have much competition on this, and so it's working out really well. So every time we do this, the response is fantastic, and it's just a matter of getting them used to doing something all digital. That's it, because they're so used to doing tangible things.
Right.
It is breaking some new ground. Some of them get it right away. Some moms are like they're not sure. It's a comfort level that we have to break through. So it kind of depends on who we're selling to. After school program. It's kind of a no-brainer, especially with like Title I schools, because they're looking for a digital option that's positive, and because we fulfill a real need. Because character education now is mandated in 46 states, and a lot of schools don't even know that exists. Some have a poster, and some have full curriculum like Character Counts. Now we're involved with all the curriculum. We know all these folks, and so the things that the characters say are based on the character education.
So, do you guys have any kind of licensing agreement, like with the after-school program, where they, have license for 5 terminals or 10 terminals or whatever, and whatever kids are there have the ability to access it, or how does that work in an after-school kind of environment?
Yeah, there's a variety of ways. It could be 1 per student, which is more expensive, obviously, or they do there'd be like 5 terminals and they could use them individually, but they all have their own username and password because they want to keep their own accounts. So we kind of structure it based on the need, and same with the cost, based on where they are, how many kids there are, and how they're going to use it. So we have an after-school rep that sets that up individually based on where they are, because everybody has different budgets.
Right.
And so we can play with that,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So this is really cool, Steve.
Thanks.
It's amazing. I've been doing these shows for 8 years, and I've been floored by some of the folks I've had a chance to talk to in the last couple of days.
Cool.
So this is really, really neat to have. One of the reasons why I started the Marlon and Percy comic series is because so many of the themes in the comic book world today are adult or dark.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had the same thought process, just in a different place. So to hear you talk about that and kind of the foundation of it all is really, really neat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we did a lot of research, and we found that social media, whether it's antisocial or pro-social, has a direct effect on their behavior. So we're just trying to get them young before they get too crazy, because the bullying is such a huge problem. So we figured we'll find, and that's happening in character education too. They said, you know what, we got to go younger than middle school. We got to get these kids right out of the chute. So that's what's happening now, and it's a really good thing. And you go to these character education conferences, and these brilliant people, PhDs, professors, doing this as a living, and it's international. We got people from South America. We got people say, hey, when's it going to be in Turkish? I don't think so. But today we've gotten 4 people asking when it's going to be in Spanish, and we have that. We're from LA. We have that same issue. So that is the plan, is to make it bilingual and put it in Spanish as well.
Awesome.
So yeah. So the need is great, and we're just trying to do our part, and
And hanging out in San Antonio, Texas on a Saturday
I love
right
this.
now.
Yeah, it's the first time I've been here. This is a nice town. I like Texas. We've been to Texas a lot. We've done Dallas and Houston and Austin. So
awesome.
Texas has always been great for us.
Well, this is a kind of a good place to get it all started with as big of an educational group and as many schools are in this state. So
it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So any last parting thoughts you'd like to leave with the audience at all?
Well, don't be afraid of digital. Come on down. Yeah, because it is a really easy way to fundraise. And once you get it up and running, there's no limit to what you can do. So we think there's a lot of potential here, to get these kids on something safe and fun, and and not getting exposed to all the violence out there, because there's a lot of it.
Right.
And being from the animation field, I know, like look, it's a cartoon. Oh, it's South Park. If you saw your 5-year-old watching South Park, you'd be mortified, right? It's fun for us, and I know those guys, and I get it, but man, just because it's animation, you got to be careful.
Right.
And there's a lot of that around. There's a lot of mature animation, and because parents think it's cartoons, it's like, holy cow. There's some things you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I'm really proud of it. My partner Tammy and I, we're proud of what we're doing, and we're just hopefully we'll just keep hanging in there.
Awesome. Well, Steve, thank you for taking time out of this busy day to sit in for a few minutes. It's been exciting to hear about what you're doing, and looking forward to getting to know you guys better. And have a safe trip home, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to the School Zone's School Fundraising Ideas Podcast, and for simplifying the search. Be sure to subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode. When you do, please leave us a 5-star review in iTunes or your podcast player of choice.
There are a lot of kids in this world just like me, except they don't have a way to get any clean drinking water. Clean Water Kids is the kid part of kidsacrosscultures.org, where we ask school kids to be our partner in raising awareness for water projects. Clean water changes kids, which changes schools and changes families. And when we help other kids get clean water, it changes us. Clean water changes everything. Raising money for water filters and other water projects is really easy. We have schools, organizations, and other groups all over who do it. Go to cleanwaterkids.com for more information and ideas on how you can partner with us. Although we focus on schools, you don't have to be a school to help us. You can tell your school, your team, your church, your club, or troop, or whatever you're a part of about cleanwaterkids.com and see how easy it is to help. I think every kid deserves clean water to drink. Don't you? I'm Travis, and I'm a clean water kid.